It's first thing in the morning, so I don't start doing something else. I have to do it first thing in the morning. I recently spent some time laying out all of the August release dates in preparation for this episode. Look at this hair! And even though this isn't the one I wanted to talk about, all the good release dates, I missed them. That's what I get for taking any time to do other things. However, it's still a notable release, I think. Let's go. Let's talk about another record no one gives a shit about with your host, the guy who made it. Alright, so better lighting, better sighting. I didn't necessarily want to go overboard with it like I did in the last episode, but who knows? Maybe episode 3 will have a giraffe or something. I don't know. Today we're talking about a collection of songs that I put out on August 26th of 2014 that has since spawned 2 sequels and has just become another one of my long-running projects, much like the Ruins series. This collection was called Tape Delay. The songs here, despite being assembled and released in 2014, were actually written and recorded between 2002 and 2005 on 2 different 4-tracks, neither of which I still have. However, I do have new versions of the same models. Not that that is relevant or important in any way. The story of this record starts out simple enough. In 2001, I was still new to home recording, and basically all of it, besides open air, was digital multi-tracking. At the time, though, I was living in a small apartment, earning minimum wage as a breakfast cook, and couldn't afford a computer or really anything. So I hadn't been doing any recording for about a year. For Christmas that year, a family member gave me a $100 gift certificate to North Country Piano and Guitar in Queensboro, New York. And though I have shopped there many times out of necessity, I don't think anyone can really recommend them. Where I was able to purchase a 4-track machine, a Fostex X12 if I remember correctly, much like this one here. Later, in a house with some faulty wiring, I was attempting to record music and it started on fire. Rest in peace, little buddy. But after acquiring that machine, I spent the next couple of years just pumping out tape after tape full of horrible songs. I've got boxes of them literally littered throughout the country at this point. Only one of those songs from that machine made it onto this release. The opening track, meant here as an intro and as just a general experiment originally, Audio Collision. The track came together as a friend was over and we were just recording us messing around with a bunch of guitar pedals. I have absolutely no idea which pedal or pedals were used for this. I've never been a gear or pedal guy, but I'm sure somebody out there can listen to this and identify exactly what it was. After Tape Delay was released in 2014, Shane Sanchez of basically every band with a synthesizer in upstate New York used the song to score one of his short films about a dream he had had. After that, though, most of these songs here, I believe, were recorded on a Tascam MK2 414 machine, like this one, between January of 2004 and August of 2005, I think. The next track, and a few of the others like it, really laid the groundwork for how I sort of see myself as a musical entity. I know that sounds pretentious and weird, but it's true. When I think about writing songs or music or what I want to do, it's always basic acoustic guitar, sloppy synths, huge drums. Even if they don't necessarily all end up sounding that way, nearly all of my songs begin somewhere in the orbit of that idea. Take this next song, Blah Blah Blah, beautifully titled, for example.
Well, are you coming over soon? I need to see you, or else I might record this shit. I've got nothing to do. Yeah, I bang away on the acoustic guitar. No one's listening. They are better off where they are.
The entire record, and honestly most of my tapes from that period, have a very loose feel to it like that. For two main reasons. First, I was still learning the machinery. The Tascam machine is far more in-depth than the original Fostex was. And second, at the time, I was sort of in a shift as a songwriter where one of my main goals was to eschew my influences and not lean into them as I had been prior, which at the time were mostly punk and German industrial bands. And that led to a number of sort of forced softer moments, such as the next song, I'm Fine, where, for the first time, I also attempted a slide guitar part.
Reading this book, trying to figure myself out. But all I know is nothing I do, nothing I say can change me now. So I picked up this guitar, tried to write a few words, but nothing was coming out right. Maybe I should give up and let it all go and drown beneath the night. Picked up the phone, but no one was home. Better, I guess, 'cause I'd rather be alone. I wish I didn't stress you out like this, but I swear to God I'm fine.
And from there, we've got two of the stronger songs in the collection, in my opinion. The first of the two, Right Now, was a favorite of mine for quite a while. I played it constantly. This was also partly due to the amount of creative four-tracking that I had to do to get all of the sounds that I was hearing in my head onto the tape. In general, though, it's just not a terrible song.
I guess I forgot the curves of your body, the lessons you taught me, and all the shit that lied in between. When I look down, do I see what God sees? Just another fallacy. Well, tell me now what you think I mean. Well, I'm not over anything, I know I will not calm down. Believe me when I say I'm making everything right now. Right now.
The second of those two songs is the song Disaster, which lyrically I was trying to write something that was not at all flowery, not poetic, just observation and no bullshit, straight to the point. It's not a great example of that sort of writing, but I did, I think, eventually get better at that. Despite all that, though, I really like all of the bouncy synths and general positive atmosphere of the song itself. At one point, I even planned on basing an entire project around the sound of this track. But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I don't think that at that point I was ready to undertake that sort of thing.
Man, I'm so tired, and all my poems are me. It's been raining on me, no reason to speak. Well, maybe I'm drunk, but I don't care what you think. Only the one won't even speak to me. Disaster.
Someone needs a sunlight bath. Moving into the back half of this record, we end up finding a lot of the more experimental sounding tracks. Starting it off is just an instrumental of a simple keyboard piano melody over some rumbling synths that I had running through a lot of my roommate's guitar pedals. And after that, moving quickly through it, we get the song Still Do, which is clearly a young, inexperienced guy's voice. Poor coping skills, general inability to process emotions correctly. However, I will say that the general instrumentation of the song does pull off that same sort of atmosphere. So I guess that makes it successful as far as songwriting used as an expression goes.
I took a few drags and hummed a few bars. Searched for the ribbon on the side of red cars. I wrote you a song, it was something like this, 'cause I missed you. Now I'm singing this song that goes something like this, 'cause I still do. Yeah, I still do. So I wrote you a song, it went something like this, 'cause I missed you. Now I'm singing this song that goes something like this, 'cause I still do. Yeah, I still do.
Then we hit a little piano interlude. I remember playing this. I remember recording this, but I do not remember where I was at the time or even what I recorded it on. It sounds open air to me. It's one of those partial memories that you get sometimes. Better than no memory. File's there, it's just corrupted. In 2020, when I put out a second volume of Tape Delay, I accidentally used this track again and quickly had to delete it. Lucky for me, though, no one listens to me, so no one listens to it. The next song, Song With No Words, began as just the basic drum track and some loose synths I recorded in my apartment in the summer of 2005 before work one day. Later that night, I came home and hit record and laid on the floor and just wrote a song about that right over the top of it. Fascinating. Although, I mean, experimentally, I dig it.
This is a song I have no words for, 'cause I don't need words when I'm laying on the floor. That I have no words for, 'cause I don't need words when I'm laying.
And finally, we get to the last track, EA. This song I had been playing for quite a while before recording it, and even then had recorded multiple versions of it, one of which with a former band and the Bee Killers, though I have no idea where that recording ended up. The song is simple. It's in the name. The chords are E and A over and over and over again. At that time, again, 2005, I was very into this drum sound. Muted, static sounding pops. In my opinion, this is the point where I began to feel comfortable with 4-tracking, and especially 4-tracking on that Tascam machine. And even though I had been 4-tracking for a couple of years at that point, this is where it began to feel like second nature.
Leaving never was a problem for me. Just finding my way back home. Everyone speaks of the mess that I made. I wish they'd all just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Looking back is much easier with both of your eyes so shut. For all I've done, I will always ask. I did this all for what? Leave me alone.
And that's that. There is an 11th track, kind of a bonus track if you buy it, but it's a bonus track because it's just not worth being a main track. So we're not going to worry about it. The cover art is a collage of a lot of the tapes that these tracks came from and just a portion of me playing these songs in my living room at that time. As I said before, I did release a second volume of this in 2020 and a third in 2021, that one consisting of covers I did around the time. And I will most likely release a few more. I have a whole secret Bandcamp of these tapes just uploaded in their entirities, and every once in a while I'll get bored and scroll through and find a gem or two. So who knows? Anyway, keeping the habit we started in the first episode, I wanted to try to relearn one of these songs and play it. So like last time, I'll play myself out. Thank you for hanging out with me once again, and let's just cut right to me attempting to play the 4th track from this release right now. Bye.